Hey guys, Alex Kahn here, and I want to show off my 1/18 scale diecast, and it's a Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic. And reason why I got this car was actually featured as a replica in the Overdrive movie starring Scott Eastwood, Freddie Tharp, and Ana de Armas. So honestly, if it wasn't for the movie Overdrive, I probably would have never heard of this car. But now that I've seen the movie, I did some research on this car, and we are going to talk about it. But before we talk about the movie and some of the car's history, I want to show off some of the details on this car. Now, this one's made by Solido, so it's not as detailed as the more higher end diecast car makers, but it's actually pretty solid for a cheaper variant. So this car uses suicide doors, and it's got the right-hand drive. I don't want to touch it. I don't know if these open up. I don't think they do, actually. Screw it. But yeah, obviously the other door will open too. There we go. Very beautiful. Again, I paid very little money for this. Is that proper English? Little money. But yeah, Overdrive. This car is in that movie for about 26 minutes of that movie. And in Overdrive, this car is the whole reason why this movie takes place. The movie opens up with this car on auction. Now, in the movie, during the auction, they incorrectly call this a 1937 Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic. But if you look at the car's history, they only made 4 of these cars. 3 of them were made in 1936, and then the last one was made in 1938. That's how you know the details in the movie were not very accurate, calling this a 1937. So when I was looking at this car, I was wondering, was this the one made in 1936, driven specifically by John Bugatti? Because that's the only one that was black, as far as I know. But then after I did some more research, I found out that the one made in 1938, currently owned by Ralph Lauren, was also black. But the 1938 version, owned by Ralph Lauren, was actually originally a sapphire blue color. And when it was first purchased by the famous British player named Pope, it was actually a sapphire blue. But during I think it was the 80s, that's when Ralph Lauren took this car over. He had it restored, and he had it repainted into this black color. But yeah, this is not to be confused with the 1936 Atlantic, owned by Bugatti. And you can tell, let me show you how. This is how I can tell. Let's wait for it to come around. Sorry. This is the fastest setting my turntable has. All right, these headlights. And apparently there are rear fender covers on this one as opposed to the other ones. If you have seen the movie for this is definitely the star car of that movie. And I can't go into too many details because that would spoil the plot for you guys. There is actually a plot spoiler. But just know that this is the main car in this movie. It's driven by Scott Eastwood for over 20 minutes of the movie's running time. And yeah, they originally steal this from the auction in France. And kind of interesting, when I was watching the movie scene during the auction, it was actually ran by R.M. Sotheby's, who is an actual car auctioneer. And I've actually seen them come down to auction for cars down in Florida. Very prestigious car auctioners, and they also have their own very sweet set of their own cars that they have for display. Also in the movie, there is a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO, and I can't go into the details of that car because that would be a plot spoiler. But yeah, again, the main car in the movie is this one. It's used in 2 major car scenes. It's used in the opening car scene where they steal this car, and then it's used in the last car scene, which is huge. That the last car scene it's over 15 minutes long, or actually it's over 14 minutes long. It's almost 15 minutes long. And obviously they use a replica. They would not trash Ralph Lauren's car, because that would be a crime to humanity for anyone who loves cars. But yeah, so Overdrive, I would definitely recommend it just to see this car, even a replica of it. And as far as my rating would go for Overdrive, I would definitely recommend it for a modern car movie. It's kind of like Fast and Furious, but Fast and Furious with more of a focus on the car itself. Because if you guys watch Fast and Furious, they don't focus on the cars anymore. So that's why I liked Overdrive, because the whole point of the movie was the car. So that's why I would definitely recommend Overdrive if you guys want to check it out. And that's why I got this die-cast model. Again, very beautiful. And I got to point something out. Do you see all those rivets along the seams down the middle? And they did that on purpose by design, and that's because this car used very lightweight electron body panels, which were highly flammable. So they couldn't weld this car together, so they had to rivet it together. What else to talk about? I mean, it's a beautiful model. This one's cheap. There are more expensive versions of this car, but if you want to save some money, get this one. All right, so hope you enjoyed this review on this diecast and how it tied in with the Overdrive movie. Let me know if you guys have seen the movie Overdrive, what you thought about it, and what do you think about this Bugatti Atlantic SC. And let me just point out that they only made 4 of these cars, and I believe only 3 of these are in existence today. In the movie, they say only 2 of them existed, but there's actually 3 of them still in existence.